Happy today. Um, this is, I am, I don't know what this is. No, this is Happy Today by William Brown. Um, and I decided to do this morning um, reflection and, opportunity to set my day and just kind of share my, my thoughts or the things that are going on. I I am still deciding if I want to do this outside or um, in with my computer and everything like that. But this is totally different feel. You know, there's a part of me that is like thinking that hey, maybe I should have started this in the summer. But there's this coziness to the crisp of the morning and everything that's going on. You see my neighbors going to work and walking their dogs and all the things that we do. So, what I am endeavoring to do is to share with you my my U card and my U journal within it, and what came up in my meditation today that was a little shorter than normal, and and the word that came up because of that is interesting. So when I picked my U card today, um, it was I am complete. I am complete. It's a card that came up today, and when I go to my U journal, it asks, um, it invites me to sit with that, and and everything that means, and how it's landing, and everything like that. And today I understand it from the I guess the practical sense, uh, and my knowing of I am complete. Um, but today there's definitely feels like there's something missing. There's something that I have to do to justify accepting the level of complete to to just be. And I think um, the one thing that I guess I was, um, if I were to be honest about being afraid about doing these whew, these daily weekday reflections and kind of share that is that I'm not hiding behind the curation of words. The the backspace, the I can't say that. That doesn't look polished. That doesn't feel like this. This life coach on this journey of, of being self-aware. What happens on those days where I don't feel like doing it, which it was today, the first day. There were so many things that I was thinking about why this wouldn't be a perfect day to start. I could always start tomorrow. You know, I'm in charge. This is my show. I can do what when I want. And I think the reason why I decided to do it anyway, even though I was feeling that there was a day, a better day, not today, for me to do it, was yeah, it was. This is what this is all about. This is the realness. And so for me to look in my journal, my you are complete, journal of my you journal, and it have it say that why doesn't it? It doesn't resonate because there are so many things that are happening and not happening in my life, and it reminds me of the time where I I mentioned that I got into, I had this shit show of a life that I wasn't having an identity crisis. My identity was in crisis. Who I thought I was in question. Everything that I knew about myself, thought about myself, planned about myself was falling apart around me. Um, and it sent me into a spiral of doubt and disbelief. And so being able to um, really um, go there again and be willing to share that again um, is difficult. So, um, yes, so I believe that I am complete. The card that I picked for today doesn't resonate with me because I'm looking at all the areas that I'm not complete versus the areas that I know I am complete. And I think the more that I embrace that, the more I'm able to, I don't want to say fill in the gaps, but not focus on what I don't have, but what I have. And I think that's the my message for today for myself and for the people that are listening. Good morning, Pamela, um, and my lovely wife, um, Dalila. Um, I So yeah, in the midst of everything else that you're doing today, focus on what you have. Focus on who you know that you are, and then move with that. That's what an actionable awareness of self is all about: is to be able to say, "Hey, this is who I am. This is who um, I need to be in these situations, and I'm going to do it." And so, with all the things that I have to do, want to do, need to do today, um, that's how I am complete is showing up. So the labels that are showing up for me is definitely my husband label and um, my entrepreneur label or my solopreneur label. You know, to recognize. I think the more that I want to have a conversation with solopreneurs is that there's a lot of our preneuring that will be done by ourselves, and it's by design. So how can I stand in power alone? And I think that's what the self discovery journey is all about. It's really recognizing that there's a large part of this journey is by myself, is something that I am willing to embrace and then share, you know. Um, and there's a part of myself that I'm not quite ready to share, that it is something that I need to share. And so that goes back to some of the many projects, some of the many projects that are still a work in progress that that I need to share, that I need to have an invitation for, that I want to be perfect, I realize within this moment that the reason why I am not showing up fully in my endeavor of IamWilliamBrown.com is because I am still stuck on the perfect gene, stuck on making sure that not only there are things that I'm aware about in my business, but there are things that I appreciate about in my business, and there's things that I want to share. And so that's what shows up for myself. That's how I'm showing up for myself, and that's how I'm showing up in my business. Solopreneur. Oh, I just got that for myself. So even though I talk a good game, and it is a good game, and it's a reality. It is not. I don't feel like I'm lying to myself, or I'm not telling myself the truth. I am unlearning, unlearning years and years of programming. Of this is how you should show up in public. In the African American community, there was something that I was told, maybe you were told this if you're not from that community, of don't show your ass. And meaning, don't show things that would put our family not in a good light. You know, lie, do whatever you can, but don't show the truth. Um, you know, Usually the reason don't show your ass was really all of the bad things, or all of the things that you didn't want people to know about. Or you'd be surprised about um, the things that people had to deal with to survive. So how do you show your ass and not show your ass, right? How do you tell the truth and not kind of expose yourself? Because there's a difference between exposing, I think, and basically being available for correction and for growth and for all the things. And because there's a lot of people that wants to help, support, be there, encourage. And if they're not giving each other the truth, they don't know what to help. And I think there has been many times where I have asked for help in the symptom, but not the root. And so the symptom is treated, but the root problem is not. And so it's still around doing its thing. So the word that came up for me today was obligation. And so when I think of obligation, um, there's a force to it. There is a demand. And I felt like today, it's like, dude, you scheduled to do this on a weekday. And so now you're obligated to do it. Get your ass out of bed and do it. Um, and I really believe that life is bigger than our obligations. And the more that I embrace, um, I guess what I obligated myself to do, the more that I will learn about myself. You know, I'll share later on today in a post that one of my favorite quotes or sayings is from um, Mother Teresa. It's called "Do It Anyway," and it goes through a list of things that you do, and people will tell you, differently, and it will show up differently for you, but do it anyway because it's not between you and them. It's, it's because it's between you and God. It's between you and the divine. It's because of that relationship that you do everything that this life is causing you to do. And it reminds me of something that I posted probably a month or so ago around choice. Is that we don't get to choose to be. You don't get to choose. Um, you know what? I don't even know what it is. I can't believe, but it's basically that we are who we are, right? Basically, you are who you are. The only choice that you get is that you get to choose if you're going to be. So, because of that explanation, because of that understanding of what I said, I love when I quote myself, and I can't remember it. And so, what that tells me is that it's not coming from here, it's coming from here. And when I lose access to what's coming from my heart, it doesn't show up here. And so I am so glad that I wrote it down. It's that heart speak. So consider that um, you don't get to choose who you're going to be. We get to choose if we're going to be. So um, we are already complete. We are already. The choices that we have is that we be. Be you. And so that's not an obligation, even though it feels like an obligation. That's just the reality if we choose to believe that that's who we are. Um, and so the obligations that I have is to show up as this perfect person, this perfect person, this perfect image of myself instead of myself. So I endeavor to let that perfect image of myself go so I can just be myself. And that's the invitation that I give to you. So, as this day continues, it is my prayer that we let go of the perfect image of ourselves and just be ourselves. Because we are complete. Happy today.